want to pay attention to vulnerability scanners, right? Because there are a lot of vulnerability scanners out there, web-based, network, cloud-based scanning. So let's pay attention. Let's go through it. So so we started 420. This is sorry, we started 520, right? We started 520, and this is 630. So let's be fast so that we can work within time. So network vulnerability scanning tools, Nexpose, right? We have Nexpose, like the one we are using. I think the one we are using is yeah. So this is Nessus, right? We have Nessus. Sorry, this is Nessus. We have OpenVAS vulnerability scanner. We have Rapid7, so manage engines vulnerability manager. This the Rapid7 is mostly used by industry. Most organizations that are out there use Rapid7. I'm talking about banks, enterprise, finance, and the like. But some other small, medium organization also makes use of Nessus that I'm using the enterprise version, right? So OpenVAS is also used, but like is for me is the one of the most commonly used open source vulnerability scanner. It's open source, right? The manage engine, I've not really seen a lot of organizations use manage engine vulnerability manager, but it's also very useful. So when it comes to web vulnerability scanning, we have Nikto, we have OAuth, right? You guys know OAuth, right? I think, do I have OAuth on my system? Let me see. Yeah. So OAuth to help you check OAuth top 10, assess your application, to check if your application is compliant as regards to OAuth top 10, right? Then we have Arachin, then we have the WAF, we have the Vega, we have the Commando, hacker proof, Wapiti. Wapiti is just like Nikto. Nikto is installed by default on Kali, So because of I've opened some VM, I don't want to log into Kali to show you guys, but I think we've worked on Nikto, but I think there's an online Nikto. Let me check. There's an online Nikto. So yeah, so there's an online Nikto that can be used. So Akunetics, organizations to enterprise, like I said, these tools, like the Nexus I'm using, right, is mostly specialized on network-based, wireless, or host-based scanning. But what if you want to do like source code scanning, like static application analysis, right? Or you want to do dynamic application analysis scan, right? For your source code, you can use Akunetics. That's where you use Akunetics. You upload your code and you check, you do like a static based scan or dynamic based scanning. For your source code, it will check the framework you are using, check the version, to check for misconfigurations that, for any form of misconfigurations, against like process scripting attack and the likes. Then we have Qualys. Qualys can also be used to conduct cloud-based scan. So if you have your assets on the cloud, you can use Qualys to scan for those assets, right? You see, because my system is a little bit slow, it's just trying to load up. Right. Okay, so cloud security scanner. So if you guys are conversant with AWS, Google Cloud Security Platform, or Oracle. So AWS, we have different security tools. We have Amazon Inspector. We have AWS Shield that is used to protect against DDoS attack, right? We have AWS Cloud Trade that can be used to, monitor user activities and API alerts. There are so many AWS tools that can be used. And one of the good things is that some of these tools are built into AWS. But there are also other tools, third-party tools that you can use to scan your assets on the cloud. You know, apart from using the inbuilt AWS tools, like we talked about, the inspector, the AWS Shield, you know, the cloud tray, you know, that can be used to, you know, to scan for any form of vulnerabilities on the AWS platform. So on Google platform, we have the Google Cloud Security Scanner. On the what's it called, Oracle platform, we have the Orca Security Suite. Okay, so we also most of these tools are in either commercial or what free. You can see the Nexus I'm using. This is it. It's limited to 16 IP. I would really want you guys to install it on your system so that you get to know how to use it. As a security engineer or analyst, this should be part of what you know, this should be part of your selling point. You know, whether defensive or offensive, you guys should put it in your CV that you're conversant with vulnerability assessment solution. Because whether you are defensive or offensive, you need to use vulnerability assessment solution, right? So, apart from, okay, you can see it's just coming up. So basically, we can use the OWASP app. I don't want to run a scan so that it doesn't slow down our lecture. You know, so you can use the OWASP app. All you need to do is, you know, you can go to create a site, or you can run an automated scan, put in your what's it called, your URL, right? You put in your URL in there, you start scanning. You know, so you can either run an automated one or you run a manual one. Then you click attack. Then it starts, it will do a crawling, it will crawl to find subdomain sensitive data within those domains and show that it will give you details on what is what has been discovered. Maybe robot.tsc is containing certain specific sensitive information or not, you know. So a web crawler, just like Bobsuit, you know. So, but a good thing is that this will help you check against OWASP top 10, you know. So guys, okay, just a minute, guys. All right, so we have Rapid7. Like I said, this is one of, especially in Nigeria, but I see in Nigeria even, this is one of the solutions that you need to know. So apart from Nexus, right, you can, Rapid7 also have a free, Rapid7 has a free version. Nessus is also, it has a free version that can be used just like the one I'm using right now, right? So you can find a way to download either Rapid7 one or the Tenable, the one from Tenable, right? Okay. All right, so this is a simple architecture that shows how, for example, OpenVAS is a free vulnerability scanner that can also be used. So I just wanted to show you guys how the architecture is, but I won't go into details because you can go on there to find this online. It's everywhere online. But I wanted to show you guys that, okay, for a vulnerability assessment solution, right? What key components that you always find across board? Like I told you guys, database that will store the results and configuration, right? It will have either an internal database or a database that you can integrate to, right? It will have the scanner itself, like the scan engine. Don't forget, I told you about the scan engine, right? So it will have the scan engine, right? That will execute the vulnerability tests against the asset, you know. So for OpenVAS, it has the green bone security assistant. So it is the web interface that you would, just like the one I'm working on now, the interface for Nexus. For OpenVAS, it is called green bone security assistant, right? Then the protocol that is used to integrate the various components, we have the Open Scanner protocol, So this is just how the architecture is. So again, this is my reservation, right? This is my recommendation. Whenever you want to deploy a vulnerability assessment solution, make sure you understand the architecture. Guys, it is very important. Understand the architecture, just like I'm explaining this to you. If it is Nexus, make sure you go and look at the diagram that shows you, okay, how does the component talk to each other and what is the function for each? Because it's going to help you during troubleshooting when you have any issue as per troubleshooting, you'll be able to say, okay, this is where the issue is, or is there a port that needs to be open or that is being blocked by a host-based scanner, you know? So make sure that any solution you want to deploy, you understand the architecture, right? So this is how the OpenVAS platform looks like. I don't have it installed. I would have displayed to you guys. So, you know, this is how it is. Just very simple interface that, you know, then you go on to click click a new task, you know, where you put in your IP address and you start scanning, right? You can see where you display your IP address, or you can put it in form of a subnet, you know, or specify a specific IP address and scan, right? Then you wait for the scan results, then you validate it, right? So that is how the OpenVAS solution works. Just like the results we have, you can also see this form of result for OpenVAS. So we talked about Nexus. We've been going to check Nexus. You know, so this is just telling us some of the basic things that Nexus can be used for, right? Basically, to carry out tests against different assets, you know, to look out for known and unknown vulnerabilities, you know, that is within your environment, right? You can perform tests on multiple hosts concurrently, right? So these functions, I think, is similar to different vulnerability assessment solution out there, you know. Okay, so what I think we've also talked about these. I'm just going to breeze through. What does a vulnerability assessment solution check for? Check for backdoors, you know, DOS, FTP, exploits, trying to gain a shell remotely, gain a root account remotely, perform port scanning, remote procedural call, SMTP problem, you know, banner grabbing, also check for you know, services that are not very useful within your environment that you might need to stop, or ports that are open that you might need to close, you know, and also misconfigurations, you know, on your assets. So these are just pictures of what I've shown you guys. So also, let's take a look at some of the free website security vulnerability tools that we have that you can also exploit in case you want to scan against certain assets, right? External facing assets. I'm talking about external facing assets. So let me go on to open this, what's it called? This link. Okay. Okay. So just a moment. I think I have it open here. Okay, so just in case you want to have an external, an attacker perspective of your network, right? So there's also some free tools that this basically for web-based scanning. There are some that I've shown you guys earlier in our class, but I'm still going to repeat. You can see this particular one, Scuri, can also basically be used to perform website scanning to check for malware, you know, and basically misconfigurations. Let's see how it works. I'm just going to open that on the new tab. Also, Qualys um, uh, also have a free feature that can help us check against SSL server tests, check if our certificate is expired, any form of misconfiguration, on our SSL TLS within that's configured within our web application, right? Check for protocols, the protocol details, and this will also help you understand what an attacker can see, when they are trying to access your own network, right? We have this also. I've not used this one, but I think these tools just basically work the same way. They help you check for any form of malicious file. They crawl your website and help you see if there's any sensitive information that could be visible to attackers. So I'm going to share this so that you can have it handy, just in case. You know, just in case you guys want to use it. So also I'm going to OpenVAS. Let's see, I think we have an online OpenVAS that you can also use to assess see. And I think I've also show you guys what's it called, online nmap tool that can also be used, right? We've also checked online nmap. So the OpenVAS we're talking about, that you can install it on your server, or you can use the online version. Yeah, I think that's it. Right. So okay, so you can use it to conduct a light scan, but it's just going to give you a what's it called? It's just going to give you limited information. That's why that's the difference between this and the one you are going to deploy on your network, right? It's just a different. This will give you very few information as compared to what the one you deploy on the lab, like the one I'm showing you guys now, like this. So let me see. Okay. So we haven't talked about the almost done. So we have an assignment. I think basically that is a. I don't know if we have any question as per vulnerability assessment that we're talking about. You guys have any question? So before we talk about our assignment. Okay, so guys, this is the assignment. So we have a scenario here where you are employed, or you are the security manager, or the security manager in your firm has engaged you to conduct a vulnerability assessment on your own network, right? And using Nessus tool, and to provide a report for the vulnerability assessment, and also propose a remediation, procedure for any critical vulnerability discovered, right? So the first step is using Nessus to scan your device on your local network. So you guys on your local network, maybe you can use your phone, you can maybe create an hotspot or use your modem, then connect devices in your environment, to that modem, and you can conduct a scan. I will show you how to do that. So the first thing you are going to do is this. Number one is that we are going to go to you're going to go onto your Google and make sure you download Nessus. That's the first thing I'm going to do. You can see Nessus, the community version. So let's just go and see. And just put it community version. Okay. Okay. So guys, you go onto Google, go onto this part, you know. So if you depends on you, I would advise not to, if you don't have enough space on your Kali, I would advise not to deploy it on your Kali because it will slow down your Kali, and I don't want you to lose your Kali environment. But you can deploy it. You can see that it can work on Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. It doesn't have to be a server, right? Provided you have some good space. Like I told you guys, you can check on the requirements. At least let's say um, you don't have less than 250 gig, at least you have 500 gig, 250. But if you have enough space, right, you can download this and run it. But if you have a server, just like me, you can download server 12 online and install on your VM. Then you can install just like what I did, right? So this is my own environment. This is my own Windows Server 12. I installed it. I have some other tools that I installed there. So because vulnerability assessment solution, it's not like it's very heavy. Like this one is not it's not very heavy, but it's going to download plugins, right? So you can download this version if you don't want any stress. I think this is the best on your, so you just run directly on your system, right? But don't forget I'm not sure it's 32, but I'm not sure if it is going to run on a 64-bit operating system, but you can try. Or also you can try it on this. This is 4 bits, can also run on Windows 7, 8, 10, right? You can see it, right? So you can see the size is it's 3 MB, it's not as large, right? So if you are using Windows, I would say for easy installation, just use Windows, download it. Once you click here, it will start downloading. Click. Once you download it, run it, right? You're going to run it on your, or install it on your system. You can see mine, install it. Once you install it, the only thing is that I'm going to tell you guys beforehand, installation is very quick, but downloading the plugin sometimes can take over 30 minutes or an hour sometimes. So once it's downloading the plugin, you can just leave it. So if I'm you, I would recommend that maybe before you sleep, you can just install it. Once it's downloaded, the plugin can, or you can leave your system and let it download for a while. It can take up to 40 minutes to an hour to download the plugin before you will see this page. You see the login page, right? Something like this. You see the login page like this, right? So because it needs to download the plugin and store it within its internal database. Then you create an account. So then you are able to log in, right? So based on the assignments that we have here, guys, hope you're saying, based on our assignment, the first thing is you can see, install the Nessus Community Edition on Kali Windows, right? Conduct credential-based scanning, right? So how do you conduct a credential-based scan? See, I've logged in, going to click new scan, right? Then you can choose host discovery scan, or you can come here to depending on what you want to do. So don't forget, host discovery scan is just to check systems that are active. It will not conduct a scan. It will not conduct a vulnerability assessment scan. It will just check for open ports and hosts. But if you want to conduct vulnerability assessment scan, you can choose network, basic network scan or advanced scanning, right? So choose, let's say, basic network scanning. For a credential-based scan, right? Now, let me give, let me be specific. Now, for example, if you want to scan your metasploitable, you know, you need to put it on, right? You need to put your metasploitable on, right? So that your vulnerability assessments can assess it. Now, let's say I want to scan this metasploitable on my credential scan. What would I put there is that, you know, it is a Linux environment, so I'm not going to choose Windows. I'm going to choose Linux, right? Linux environment. You can see, then once it's here, then you choose password. If you're using a certificate, if you want to authenticate based on certificates or every other way, but you know, the most common way is password. Then you put, you know, if you've created a separate account on your Metasploit, fine, but you know, the default account is MSF admin, then this one is MSF admin, right? MSF admin. Then that's all. Save it. It's going to use by default port 22. Then you save it, come here and save it. Then you come here. The other thing you are going to do is to don't forget and specify your assets. Put in the name. You can see places that are required. Specify your assets. You can scan your own entire subnet, like I told you guys earlier, right? Right. Then you can put in the name of your vulnerabilities, your scan here, right? Then don't forget, this is an example of a credential-based scan because we have credentials, right? Like I explained to you guys. But if you are not configuring any credential, then that makes it an uncredential-based scan. Don't forget, guys. Don't forget, guys. Then also, you know, you can go on to review other features that you feel that can make your scanning efficient and elaborate, right? So that is it. That's just the assignment, right? So you can do it against, if you don't have a metasploitable, fine. You can scan your asset, like maybe another system within your network. You understand? So that's why I said you can try and what's it called? Like what I did was I connect my TV, my phone, some assets that I could connect with my modem. Then I conduct the scan. You know, so you can also replicate that from, or you can connect, if you have like 2 or 3 VMs, you can connect it to your, don't forget, don't use nothing, guys. So it's also an important thing. Don't use nothing. It should be bridge, you know, bridge, because vulnerability assessment solutions, sometimes they, um, they don't perform very well on a natted environment, right? Because the what's it called, the internal asset or the VM picks their IP address from the host machine, you know. So, but it is advisable to make sure that you use bridge so that each of these assets has their own unique IP address, you know. So that is it. Then conduct a credential-based scan, conduct an uncredential-based scan, document your discovery. So after your scan, your scan results, the next thing you're going to do, guys, is to, right? Where's my, so once your scan, your scan is completed, right? Then let's say this is my scan, right? You can see reports here. You can come to report, click on report, see, go to PDF, analyze each of these reports, download each of them, analyze each of these reports, see the differences, you know, then that is what you're going to do. For both credential and non-credential based scan, so just make sure it's PDF so you can download it. So this is a sample of the one I downloaded for my own assessment. I'm opening. Right. So again, document your discovery, you know, because you're going to generate a report, you know, from it. So the main thing I want to hear from you guys based on your own reports, because apart from the generated report, the question says document your discovery on any critical vulnerabilities. So you are going to find different vulnerabilities, but critical ones, what are your discoveries, right? What did you find out? What is the number one? What is the vulnerability? What is the vulnerability? How could, how can it be exploited? Then how can it, what is remediation? How can you remediate against it? So these are some of the things that I expect to see. You know, so it is, if you might discuss all the critical vulnerabilities if they are not much, but at least it should be two. You can pick two critical vulnerabilities and discuss that. So that is the assignment. So you now you know, keep snapshots on maybe on a Word and send it to us, right? So that is it. So I'm just trying to put my experience in a nutshell, because for me, if you can go through this assignment, I believe that anytime, any day, you can conduct any vulnerability assessment and you should be able to analyze the critical vulnerabilities and provide remediation, which is what is needed out there in the market. So that's why I'm giving you guys this assignment. And don't forget, I also mentioned go out. I want you to also research on what are the other differences between credential-based scan and uncredential-based scan, right? But these are the major assignments. Don't forget. So I don't know if you have any other question before we call it a day. All right, guys, I'm listening. Any question? Waiting. Yeah, of course. I would share